All right, hey there guys. This is Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine in the WHAS11 Weather Impact Weather Center here on this February the 18th, 2025, 9:26. We're just going to wait for a second to get on board with WHAS11 Plus app. If you got a moment, perhaps you could share, like our Facebook Live, our YouTube Live, whatever platform you may be watching from. And there you can see the winter storm that's starting to move into our area. And if you stick with me here, I promise I'll show you 5 different weather models and their snowfall output, which are actually looking pretty similar. Let me briefly go ahead and share this Facebook Live to my pages really quickly. And then by that time, we should be getting going on the Plus app. And if you want to, you can go to your app store and just search WHAS11. And there you will find the WHAS11 Plus app. And you can get lots of free stuff there. Free weather, news, programming, all that good stuff, all of our live shows. I use it at home because we cut the cord and I can get my live news for free that way. I'm cheap, so that's what we do. And again, we're going to be tracking the timing hour by hour with Futurecast. We're going to be looking at the snowfall totals of 5 different weather models. And perhaps, if we're lucky, we'll have a little fun here coming up here shortly. And again, we should be popping up on the Plus app here in just a moment, sharing it to our weather page, and it looks like we're all shared, all good there. All right. I'll also be looking at any questions you might have and doing my best to answer those as well. Looking at the comments on the Facebook page. Marina says, let it snow. Beverly, good evening. Josh, it's snow time. Charlotte, where's the snow? It's on the way. It's right there on the radar. It's coming. It's just got to saturate down to the surface and it'll be snowing. We're up on Plus. We're up everywhere. We are good to go. So just to introduce myself, I am Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine here in the WHAS11 Weather Impact Weather Center. It is February 18th here at 9:29, straight up almost 9:30. All right, so Charlotte, to answer your question, we're going to look at the snow, what it's done so far out to the west. That gives us some ground truth, and then we're going to look at Futurecast and a bunch of different weather models. We've got a lot of content that I want to show you. I've got a bunch of weather graphics loaded up. Josh is sick of the weather. I am sick of the weather as well. I'm getting more negative comments on the social media than I ever have before when I post a snow map, and I'm with you. I'm on the same page. It's been a pretty hardy, brutal winter with up to 20 inches of snow. Typically, up to today's date, we have about 9 inches of snow. So we're more than double what we typically have up to this point. And we still have 30 daws of winter to go. Let me put the maps back up and we will get, as I like to say, cooking with Crisco here. So you've got this snow band all the way down Interstate 64 west into Missouri. Missouri's starting to see lighter snow there. And one thing I want to point out, and one reason I don't care how much snow you get is because the impacts are going to be pretty much the same. Almost immediately snow-covered roads. It's a light, fluffy snow. It's going to be easy to shovel. It's not going to be easy to compact or make a snowman. So it's not a big deal whether you get 2 inches or you get 6 inches. The impacts are going to be the same. And I wanted to show you this. I'm going to stop this. You see these little bands here, and then there's some darker blue. And so wherever those little bands randomly show up, you might get an extra 2 or 3 inches more than the county next door to you. So that's why we have to give a snowfall range of like 2 to 6 inches, because in reality, what's going to be real on the ground is a range in snowfall totals across the area. Now, if you're up here, you're looking at not much at all up around Seymour, Indiana, Highway 50. You get too far north, you're getting too far away from the storm. And you got more moisture to work with down here. And once we get a little bit deeper into the nighttime, the snowfall ratios will go up. And what I mean by that is it takes less moisture to produce more snow. So we had this morning 0.05 inches, 0.05 of an inch, just a teeny tiny bit, barely measurable amount of liquid that produced 1.1 inches of snow. That's a 22 to 1 ratio. Typical is at 32 degrees is about 10 to 1. So for 1 inch of liquid, you get 10 inches of snow. We're all the way up to a huge snow ratio, 22 to 1 this morning. So the snow ratios are pretty high, so it doesn't take much liquid to produce inches of snowfall. But it will melt very quickly because it's just kind of fluffy, powdery snow that we're going to have. But again, makes it easy to shovel off your car. It just kind of fluffs away. So that's kind of the nature of the snow that we're going to have. And that's actually kind of a good thing. It's a little bit less impactful. Yes, the roads are going to be slick, but we don't have the ice, we don't have the sleet, and that kind of thing. All right, so look at this. This is a look at all the winter storm warning and winter weather advisories. The lighter purple, that's your winter weather advisory. The dark purple, that's winter storm warnings that go all the way from the Appalachians to the Ohio Valley out to the west into the Great Plains. And then in the Great Plains, what is the dark blue? That is extreme cold warnings, a flow coming right out of Canada. And so just bitterly cold temperatures over the central United States and our area as well. Speaking of those bitterly cold temperatures, here's kind of a look at where the heart of the cold air is, and sub-zero temperatures there over the northern plains. All right, so here's the storm reports over the last 6 hours. And again, we'll get to a Futurecast here in just a moment. All right, so here, these are very recent reports of the snow that's just starting to move into western Kentucky. Just a ½ inch of snow there, 2 inches there, and this is just going to give you an idea. Initially, you know, you're looking at 1 to 2 inches here through western Kentucky. It hasn't been snowing very long there. You go a little bit farther west into Missouri, and then you got 8-inch report there. That's courtesy of KSDK. That is our sister station. I grew up watching that station in St. Louis. There's a 5-inch report there, 4.5 inches. That's 9 o'clock our time. So these are fairly recent reports. 3 inches. So this is the definition of banding of snow. You got anywhere from 3 to 8 inches over very similar areas. I wanted to go back to, real quick, the winter storm and the winter weather advisory maps, but there's also a lot of green in here. That all the river flood warnings from the Ohio Valley down to the lower Mississippi Valley. So we'll talk a little bit about flooding coming up as well. Okay, so that's the snow that we've seen so far in western Kentucky, 1 inch or 2. Not a whole lot out there just yet. So here's still kind of what we're thinking. And again, I'll show you 5 different weather models and their snowfall totals here in just a moment. And they're all starting to look pretty similar. 1 to 3 inches in the winter weather advisory area. That's north of Louisville. And then Metro Louisville south, that's where we could see around 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. Kimberly Masters trying to answer your question right there. Just looking over a few of these comments before we get to our hour-by-hour Futurecast. Tiffany, thanks for watching from Columbia, Kentucky. Rachel, so I'm guessing it looks like Metro Louisville and everywhere will be getting heavily, I wouldn't say heavily accumulations, Rachel. I mean, as far as snow goes, this is kind of a friendly snow, being light and fluffy. Brian's friend in Kansas got up to 1 foot of snow in some areas. Yeah, they're in the heart of the storm out in Missouri and Kansas, and we are not going to have quite as much snow as they've seen out west. Here is a look at some of that snow starting to inch into our viewing area there around Litchfield, Hardinsburg. Feel free to chime in if you're starting to see some snowflakes. Adam, thanks for watching from Horse Cave. Pamela from northern Trimble County. And how much there in Corden? You guys are kind of on the edge of maybe just only getting like an inch or two. Just depends if you get one of these bands to kind of set up over your area. Timothy, yeah, you'll be able to get home Thursday from Florida. Carol, so we're just getting individual towns. So again, I just showed you like 3 to 6 inches is going to be possible from Louisville south, 1 to 3 north. You know, honestly, around our viewing area, it's like 1 to 6 inches, depending on where you live. If you're north of Louisville, you're looking at 1 to 3. If you're south of Louisville, you might get in that 3 to 6 inch area. But let's go ahead and move to the timing on Futurecast. So this is where Futurecast has now maybe a little ahead of reality. Beverly, thanks for watching. Being a lifetime viewer. We've got a viewer from Greensburg, Kentucky, sorry. So Brian, notice as we get closer to midnight, we should start to pick up on the snowfall rates all the way from Brookport, Illinois, Stephen Smith. Greg Farmer, good luck with it. Stay strong, stay mindful. Jeffersonville, Indiana, you're kind of right on the edge of around, maybe 2 or 3 inches, but we're going to see this on the maps here as well. And guys, if you can just hold the individual town questions, we're going to get to that. There's no way I could just answer town by town, but just look for your town on the map or your nearby town on the accumulation maps, and it'll give you a really good idea of what you're going to get. All right, so this is midnight, 1 a.m. Notice most of the dark blue indicating the heavier snowfall rates are south along the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways. That's kind of the latest trend here with our latest data. And then I'm going to stop it here right around sunrise tomorrow morning. Notice the snow starting to move east of I-65. Thank you, Bonnie, for the report of some flurries there in Mount Washington. Okay, so then we are, mid-morning, late morning flurries. We're pretty dry through the afternoon and cold and frigid in the 20s, north wind, maybe around 10 to 15, wind chills in the teens. And then look at the last little party we get here with some more snow firing up tomorrow. It's around 10 p.m. Could see an additional maybe inch or two, some fresh slick spots there. Maybe the roads have improved tomorrow afternoon. And then just be careful because Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we could have some more slick spots from that last batch, the last hurrah of this winter spell we've had here lately. Our Futurecast is loaded with the graph, which comes from our weather graphics provider. Used to be WSI, IBM. All right, single digits and lower teens Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, dry, lower 20s, wind chills, single digits and teens. All right, here we go. Here's what I promised. 5 different weather models and their weather model output for the remainder of our winter storm. So we're going to start here with the graph. This is our in-house weather model. Tomorrow morning, the road should be slick out there, Kathy, because of the snow that we're tracking right now. Thank you, Wanda, for letting me know about that snow report there in Campbellsville, Kentucky. We got snow in Hodgenville. Thank you, Dyer, for letting me know about that. Brandenburg's getting a lot of snow. Amber, thank you so much for those reports. Okay, so this is the graph, the latest here. Notice it shows, 1 to 3 north half, north of 64, and then you're looking at 3 to 5 inches from Louisville south. So that's the graph weather model. Now this is the HRR, the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh, 3-kilometer weather output from this weather model. Very similar. Up around Seymour, you're not looking at very much. Let me go back to the numbers here. Again, generally speaking, 1 to 3 north of I-64. Louisville south, this one's showing 2 to 4. One of the lighter weather models. All right, moving on. The European weather model, the good old Euro. All right, here's the Euro. It's showing 1 to 3 north of Louisville, Louisville south. Let's go 2 to 4. All right. The American GFS 25-kilometer weather model. It is showing 1 to 3 north of Louisville. It's showing 3 to 5 south of Louisville. All right, let's move on to the NAM, the North American Mesoscale 20-kilometer model. It is showing about 1 to 4 across the area. Lighter north, a little bit more to the southwest. So what have we learned here? A lot of the weather models have come in maybe a little bit less, but might not be taking into full account what we talked about earlier, which is the higher snowfall ratios with those temperatures going down to the teens. Again, if there's some banding that goes on, there might be some, I don't know, 10-mile wide swaths where you might get some overachieving areas, maybe like 6, 7 inches. If you're on either side of those bands of snow, then you might get some of those lower amounts. There's just going to be county to county. There are going to be a variety of different snow amounts on the ground tomorrow morning. So we're going to see a lot of different snowfall totals across the area. The thing is, like I said, I'm not trying to be rude. I don't care how much snow you get. The impacts are the same. It's so cold that snow will stick on contact. 1 inch of snow or less, like we saw in many areas this morning, will cause slick snow-covered roads. So if you get 1 inch, if you get 6 inches, it's a light, powdery, fluffy snow. It's going to be easy to whisk off the roof of your car. It's going to be easy to shovel off the sidewalk and the driveway. It's not a wet, heavy snow like we had the last 2 times. So it is kind of a friendlier snow in that regard, but nonetheless, it will quickly stick to the pavement. Again, the specific amounts of snow that we're going to end up getting doesn't really matter that much because we're going to see different amounts from county to county, from town to town. Generally, lighter north and heavier to the south from what all the weather models are printing out. I hope that makes sense. Trying to be as clear with what we expect out of this winter storm. Every winter storm is a little different. We've had winter storms that have had rain and sleet and freezing rain and snow. This one's very simple. It's a powdery, light, fluffy kind of snow. That's because, Shane, that we have some virga going on. That's where it evaporates before it hits the ground. It just takes a little bit of time for the atmosphere to moisten up, and then you'll start to get the snow shortly after that. Good question there. So the radar beam is hitting snowflakes, but the radar beam goes up at an angle, so the snowflakes are hitting dry air, evaporating before they hit the ground. Eventually, the whole atmosphere moistens up, and then the snowflakes make it to the ground. Coming down in Hodgenville, make it stop. I wish we could make it stop. All right, so this is a live look out there now. We've got temperatures in the low 20s, wind chill at 10, north wind at around 10 to 15. Speaking of dry air, we've got a dew point of 6. So the humidity is 51% in Louisville, so it's just taking a little bit of time to moisten up the atmosphere from top down and start to get those snowflakes down on the ground. Here are our air temperatures, teens in Indiana, so snow ratios would be higher in Indiana. The lower the temperature, the higher snow ratio, less liquid you need to fluff up higher snowfall amounts. But still very cold as well with the higher snow ratios in Kentucky in the lower 20s. And then you got a wind chill of 4 in Seymour, 5 in Hardinsburg. It's just really, really cold out there. Andre, just let me know what snow you get. That would be a big help. And so our numbers today, 25 are high. That's about 24 degrees below normal. Average high 49, 19 is what we started with. 73 sounds awesome. That was the record high back in 1948. And then we have a 4.5-inch rainfall surplus this month. That's why we have all the flood warnings. The Ohio River is like 3 or 4 feet above flood stage, impacting River Road and other interests along the Ohio River. And we'll get up to about 5, 6 feet above flood stage still in the minor flood stage category, and that's going to be cresting Thursday and into Friday. All right, so low temps tonight in the teens with snow. So if you're just popping on here, we're going to reset and go over a lot of the weather models and what we're seeing out there. We'll go over it again here in just a moment as we're coming up 9:46 on this February 18th. Highs tomorrow, lower to mid-20s and snow. 7-day forecast here. So we've got below freezing temperatures all the way through Saturday morning. So the snow that we get might linger a little while, untreated roads, the roads that don't get plowed might stay snow covered for a little while where we see the more significant snowfall accumulations. And then we start to get above freezing this weekend. I don't see any storm systems in sight after this one. So we get a little calmer period. And then we're in the 50s and some big time melting Monday and Tuesday. Harvey asked, Steve Hart, projected snow for the year. We've had 20 so far. It just depends how many more snowstorms we get this year, and I have no idea, Harvey, how many we would get. All right. We're rebooting here. If you're just tuning in to our live on Facebook, YouTube, or on our WHS11 Plus app, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking or sharing our live stream here at 9:47 on this February 18th. So again, we're tracking a kind of a dry, powdery, fluffy snow that's moving into the area. Starting to get snow reports basically west of I-65 in Kentucky as the atmosphere is trying to moisten from top down. And here's a look at the current radar and satellite of the snow moving into our area. I'm seeing reports anywhere from around 3 to 8 inches in Missouri. I don't think we'll get quite up to that 8-inch mark, but we might see some 5 or 6 inch spots. And there's going to be just a big, I think we're just going to see some hot spots where you get a little overachieving areas. Notice there's just darker bands, so there's some banding of snow, and then there's almost nothing on the northern fringe of this system. So you're looking at very little accumulation the farther north you go in southern Indiana. So again, there's going to be a range in snowfall totals from county to county, from town to town. Felicia wants a foot or send it away. Ugh. Julie's got no snow there in Shelbyville just yet. So here are the flood warnings, the river flood warnings in green, winter storm warnings in dark purple, light purple winter weather advisories that go down to the deep south. And then farther west, extreme cold warnings over the central United States. And then here are some of the snow reports that we've seen so far. And just to give you a kind of idea of what they've had over the last several hours in western Kentucky, to give you an idea of what's moving directly our way. So only a half of an inch there in Pembroke. And then near we got 2 inches here. That was at 9:33. This is a report about 15 minutes ago here in Earlington, Kentucky. So they've got 2 inches on the ground there. 2 inches in Murray. Inch in Clinton. That was a little while ago. So we're seeing a lot of areas getting up to, probably 2 or 3 inches by now. Some of these reports are a little bit older. So we're looking at western Kentucky at around 2 to 3 inch range so far. And then over here into Missouri, where it's been snowing even longer, we've seen some bigger snow reports, 4 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches. So you get the picture here. Some more significant snow out west over Missouri, and we've been just starting to get that snow in western Kentucky over the last few hours. Valley Station getting that light snow. Wayne, just a little bit further in time here over the next 1 to 2 hours, they'll start getting steadier and steadier. So the winter weather alerts that we have in our area, you've got a tier or 2 counties north of 64 under the winter weather advisory in Indiana, and in northern Kentucky and up I-71, 1 to 3 inch area there for snowfall. And if you don't get it under one of those healthier bands of snow, you might end up with just about an inch of snow. which is not that big of a deal. And then Metro Louisville South, I-64 South, still looking in the 3 to 6 inch possibilities there. Thank you, Christine, there by the National Weather Service off of Smyrna Road. Used to live down that way off Cooper Chapel. Natalie, you're in the 3 to 6 inch area. All right, so here's the snow starting to move in. Some of it not quite touching the ground yet, but we are starting to see some healthier snow bands here in Breckenridge County. Anything that looks darker is heavier snowfall rates. Again, starting to come up to I-65. Litchfield and Grayson County has been kind of one of the areas to watch as far as getting maybe some of the heavier snowfall potential. Richie, got a question mark about Mount Washington. You're in the 3 to 6 inch area. As far as snowfall total, starting to see some of that snow coming down around Hart, Greene, and Taylor and Adair counties. So starting to move in from the west-southwest. And there you can see the movement over the last 2 hours of our first initial snow bands here from the main course, so to speak. Because this morning was kind of an appetizer, fluffed up to about an inch or two in some spots. Some areas got very little, just a trace. So that was kind of the appetizer this morning. Last night I was saying this would be the main course. This is the main course with the advisories and the winter storm warnings. And then we're going to get a break, say mid-late tomorrow morning through the afternoon. And then tomorrow night, 9, 10, 11 p.m., we're going to see the last batch. That'll be dessert. That'll be the dessert snowfall with maybe an inch or two out of that. That could give us some fresh, slick roads going into our Wednesday nights, late night into Thursday morning. So we've had kind of 3 little waves of some snowfall. Again, this morning, appetizer, main course now, coming in overnight, and then our dessert tomorrow night. Best way I could try to explain it with food, with dinner out here with the winter storm. All right, back to the radar here. Joshua's got an Oldham County question mark. Oh, you're in the 1 to 3 inch range there in Oldham County. All right, we're going to get back to, we're going to show you all 5 weather model output snowfall totals once again in case you missed it last time. And we're going to go hour by hour here as well. So there you can see the snowfall rates continue to pick up through the overnight hours. This is 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Really cold in the teens. And then it starts to taper off tomorrow morning near sunrise. Maybe a few leftover flurries throughout the morning. And then pretty dry tomorrow afternoon, north-northeast breeze, low 20s, and or dry. And then we start to see the snow pick back up tomorrow evening. Here's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and notice this kind of scattered snow showers around the area. Might get another inch of snow out of that, maybe 2 inches of snow. But that's the dessert right there. That's the last bit of snow we get. Could leave some roads pretty slick into Thursday morning. So perhaps even into Thursday morning, we'll have some school delays or maybe some NTI or synchronized learning, whatever the school district decides to do. And then we're just frigid Thursday afternoon. I'm tired. A lot of us are getting tired of it. Okay, now the next 5 graphics are going to be 5 different weather models. Bardstown's in the 3 to 6 inch zone there. Liza, Greensburg's in the 3 to 6 inch area. Okay, so this is the graph weather model showing 1 to 3 north of Louisville, 3 to 5 south of Louisville. Here's the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, 3 kilometer grid spacing. This is showing, again, less north up around Seymour, 1 to 3 north of Louisville. Let's go 2 to 4 south. It's kind of one of the lighter weather models, this one here. And this is the good old European weather model, 9 kilometer, showing 1 to 3-ish north of 64, south of Louisville 2 to 4. Also kind of one of the lighter weather models. And then here is the GFS, 1 to 3 north of I-64, 3 to 5 south of 64 in south of Louisville. Last but not least, the NAM, the North American Mesoscale 20-kilometer weather model, 1 to 3 north. But it's one of the higher ones, showing 4 to 6 south of Louisville. So that's why, you know, people love to make fun of meteorologists. We're going to get 1 to 6 inches. Why such a big range, 1 to 6 inches? Well, that's just reality. It's just what is really going to happen. There's going to be some that get a little bit and some that get more significant snow amounts, lighter north, more south. County by county, even within a 3 to 6 inch area, you're going to see varying snowfall amounts because of the banding of snow that we're already seeing. It's just not the same for everybody. And we all know that. In one county alone, I've seen 2 to 7 inches in Louisville before, out of one storm. So we are starting to see that banding of snow. You get enhancements here. You get a little more uplift. You're more efficiently squeezing out the moisture in the atmosphere into snowflakes. Just a more efficient snow machine in some areas, and so that's where you're going to get a little more enhancement of the snowfall totals. So no matter what you get, whether it's an inch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the impacts are going to be about exactly the same. Snow-covered roads, light fluffy accumulation, easy to plow, easy to scrape off. I've got my scraper ready to go. I stole it from my daughter since she's not using it. She's off school tomorrow, or synchronized learning is what they're calling it now. Which synchronized is kind of cool because they actually have to be zoomed in to each class throughout the day. Pedro, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in here. This little drum roll means I'm wrapping things up here at 9:58. And we'll be on WHAS11, the night team, in 1 hour and 2 minutes. Litchfield, you might get, if you get a good band set up over your area, you might get it that 5 to 6 inch amount. Let me know what you get on the ground here by tomorrow morning. I'm sure I'll post on Facebook. We'd love to see some of your reports and stuff. 9:58 on this February 18th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in and checking out all these different weather maps, whether you're on YouTube, thanks for watching there, or our WHAS11 app, thanks for watching there as well. You guys be very safe if you decide to drive in the snow. Some people love to drive in the snow, some people don't like it. Whatever you decide to do, be very careful. We'll make it through our latest winter storm, and then hopefully this is the last one. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, I'll see you in about an hour on the night team.